Today we're analyzing a match against a really solid drag player. We'll see how oppressive drag can be, and if I can dismantle his offense to shut down his aggression. I'll share my thoughts so you're well prepared for the matchup. Hope you enjoy. I start things off trying to feel out the drag player. He's Kishin rank, so I'm respecting his defense by throwing safer Sentai options and seeing how he reacts. I give him too much space to be aggressive, which leads to one big mistake, and the round was over. It's okay though, we're gathering information. A much better round. I called out a couple of classic drag knowledge checks, which I'll highlight after this game. Lots of interesting things here. The drag isn't getting frame trapped and is playing good timings. His pressure game is good too. We'll see if I can adjust to it. Alrighty, I got destroyed. Let's analyze and see where the secret counterplay is. At higher ranks especially, you have no way of knowing your opponent's defensive capabilities and matchup knowledge. Throwing safer options is a good way to see how your opponents react to your stances. Here I'm respecting my opponent's pressure and seeing if I can find an opening. When being pressured, you shouldn't only be thinking, oh my god, when can I press? You should be trying to remember how your opponent is pressuring. This drag wasn't grabbing or spamming down too, so I wasn't threatened to just hold back. He wasn't mindlessly mashing though. He would sidestep, backdash, or armor, seeing how I would react to his pressure. When I finally started to challenge, he beautifully baited me for the kill. In round 2, however, he began showing holes in his aggression. We see this same combination again, 2-1-4 into heat burst, and this classic flowchart of full crouch 1-3 into sneak 4. This is beaten by sidestep right, which completely stopped his heat pressure. I then had a knowledge check of my own, with Unsoku 4 into duck. Reina has many similar moves that are all -14, but this one is safe, so I was able to launch his punish attempt. Another Hail Mary knowledge check by drag. He has an unbreakable tackle after his heat smash. Sidewalk is safer here, but in a best of 3, he needs to check if I know the setup. Unfortunately for him, I did. In the 3rd round, I want to highlight this moment specifically. It's common for drag players to go for a quick sidestep down forward 2. This is a powerful setup that will beat linear instant timing and catch people re-engaging after a backdash, which is what happened here. Although I shut down a lot of my opponent's offense, I made a few big errors and haven't adjusted to his sidestep down forward 2 timing. Let's see if I can adjust in the next game.
Fight!
Not sure if you caught at the beginning of the round, but my adjustment worked. My opponent has great sidestep timing though, so I should be more careful. Really good adjustments from my opponent here that I'll highlight afterwards.
3. Fight!
A lot of patience before I went in. Remember, I'm pretty safe just holding back as he's mostly using plus frame mids. His patience finally broke, and we got the dub. Let's break down what went differently this time. At the very beginning of the first round, we catch his sidestep down forward 2 timing with a misinputted electric. Note that I sidestepped with him, which realigned with his sidestep. Here's what would happen if I didn't do that. With his back against the wall, I pressured with electrics, but he did a beautiful sidestep down forward 2 here. Should definitely take note of that. Here, I was actually doing a sidestep electric to push him back into the wall, but it parried his back too. I love accidentally increasing my intimidation factor. In light of that, I want to quickly touch on positioning. If you can notice, I'm constantly sidestepping in a way to stop him from getting away from the wall. You'll see here he's correctly tech rolling away from the wall, but I'll show you the difference if I didn't sidestep to follow him. Yep, I'd literally be cornered, against the worst character to be cornered against. Positioning and shutting down a couple of my opponent's offensive strategies is going a long way. Let's move this along. In rounds 2 and 3, I want to highlight a couple of great adjustments my opponent made. Instead of sneak 4, he went for sneak 3, which tracks sidestep right. He also stopped doing the unbreakable tackle in fear of being hop-kicked. If you saw my video on how to beat spammed strings, you'll know that Drag's back 4-3 ends high. If I ducked it here, that would have been the round. I know it's getting repetitive, but I'll keep saying it. If you feel like it's never your turn, that your opponent is mashing, maybe you're just not countering strings properly. I know Tekken is a long haul of knowledge, but knowing 1 or 2 common strings per character will get you so far. Keep at it, boys and girls. I believe in you. The last round was a slaughter, and my positioning was the butcher's knife. You can see him squirming to get out of the corner, but he can't sidestep my electric as his left side is blocked by the wall. He loses his patience and starts challenging, but it's not working. And I do everything I can to not let him out, including sidestepping to keep my position, and interrupting his desperate attempts to free himself. Let's move on. Now that I've adjusted to his down-forward 2 timing, I know a couple of his knowledge checks, and I'm out-positioning him. He seems unsure how to shut me down. My opponent is a solid player though, so let's see how it turns out. This round he blew his heat early and couldn't finish me off. I healed so much with my heat engager. Couple of slip-ups here, But thankfully it didn't cost me the round.
3. Fight!
Despite a few mistakes, those rounds seemed a lot more dominant. Let me explain what I was thinking in this last game. What I want to highlight in this game is my stance mix-ups. He got a good sidestep on my Heaven's Wrath too. The next time I went into Heaven's Wrath, I actually just did the same thing, which is kind of risky, but it made me even more certain that he would go back to sidestep left afterwards. For the rest of the match, I pretty much just ran with homing and tracking options, which is the exact counter to how I believe he would defend the stance, except for at the wall, where he kept ducking in fear of my unbreakable grab. So I kept running Heaven's Wrath 3-4. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I also wanted to note a lot of the weird timings we were playing. Because of the threat of sidestep down forward 2, you'll often see me just standing there after hitting him. This is because I'm seeing if he'll try it, so I can get a punish. To wrap things up, I just wanted to clarify something about my thought process. After getting hit with sidestep down forward 2, I didn't start predicting exactly when he would throw it and playing the exact counterplay in response. This would be way too difficult and unreliable to do. Instead, I took note that immediate timings with linear moves have some risk, that fast timings with realignment would have a higher chance of success, and that sometimes putting on the brakes would give a reward. That's all. It's not some 4D chess where I've downloaded my opponent's entire life history, just noting the threat and understanding its counters, then adjusting your playstyle for a higher probability of success. I hope you all learned a thing or two. We're so close to 10K subscribers, so if you made it this far, I'd appreciate it if you were a part of our journey there. I have something planned for 10K, so keep an eye out for future posts. Good luck in your future games, and as always, thanks for watching.